I mean, we on this thing every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been a minute.
Hello, everyone out there.
What's up, listeners?
I hope everybody's had a good last 2 weeks. As usual, India has an adventurous 2 weeks. Me, on the other hand, I just changed diapers and
whatever.
And play with kids. So
not necessarily adventurous.
You ran a race?
I did.
Actually, you didn't talk about it on the last podcast, and then I saw the pictures. Like, that's right, she did say she was running that.
Yeah, I did not talk about it on the last podcast. You are correct. I ran.
Because you act like you weren't running no more on the last podcast.
Wait a minute. We didn't do our intro. We didn't do our little run duo thing.
Oh, we are
the Run Duo.
I'm Tommy Mitchell.
And I am India Cook.
Okay, you good now?
I needed that because let me tell y'all something. This is so random, but me and Tommy never practiced that. We just do it. And we never said, hey, we're going to do this sign on. We just started doing it, and then it worked. So when we don't do it, I'm like, wait, we don't do our thing. Anyway, so yes, you are right. The last podcast, I did kind of sound like I wasn't running anymore.
Yeah, you were like, oh, I'm done running. Me and running are done. Me and running broke up.
Whatever. It was not bad. I just said that I was taking a couple steps back.
I
did tell y'all that I was running some races.
You did say, distance. I think a couple of podcasts back, you did talk about it, because I know you really wanted that bag.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And the bag is amazing. I've been using it every day.
Really?
Since I got the bag. And they had them on purchase.
Oh,
so if you did not run the PNC 10 mile or 5K, they did have the bag on purchase. Whoa, Lord. Purchase. If you didn't run it. And it's a very cute bag. It has a shoe bag at the bottom, a shoe compartment.
Really?
It has a separate zipper mesh area at the top. It has an earphone holder. Like, it's a nice bag.
Sounds like it.
ATC is stepping up their game on their gear, the metal. They're stepping up their game.
Yes,
I'm here.
indeedy.
Actually, I'm here for that.
Yes.
Race director is doing better than just a t-shirt. I don't need another t-shirt. I don't. Y'all can give me a hat, give me a bag. Even if they did separate shoe bags, like just a shoe bag.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people that go to the gym, they have to put their shoes in like boxes, or not boxes, in a separate, like a grocery bag or something. Our feet be smelling. Just if you work out, you can wash your feet all day. But if your feet sweat and all that good stuff, it just happens.
I'm with you on that.
So shoe bag, I'll do arm sleeves, hats, socks. I mean, there's other things that can be given.
I saw Jay Knight from North Carolina. He's actually moving. I saw.
I saw that they were doing
going away. But Jay Knight, he's up in North Carolina, and he had his Chicago Marathon hat on. I liked it. It was nice. I don't know. I mean, I don't think they gave that one away. I think he probably bought it, but it was really
more
a nice hat. Yeah.
Now I know ATC did do a membership hat. Was that 3 years ago? But it didn't fit right.
I do remember that. It was
white and red. It was white, predominantly white with red writing and then whatever gray. But it was reflective and stuff, so I still wear it, but it just doesn't fit like mine.
Yeah, no, I have mine too.
Yeah,
but I think I wore it out because I did wear it quite a bit. But it almost looks like now when I put it on, I feel like I'm in the 70s. It kind of looks out of style.
Yeah, it looks daddish.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I am a dad, but still, I don't gotta look like.
You're not that dad. Not with the cap on. A cap and a hat are two different things.
Did you enjoy the race?
I did enjoy the race.
Yeah.
I paced with Marquesa. Not pace. I want to say pace. I ran with her. Usually if I see her in a race, I'm like, hey girl, we gonna run. And she's like, oh God, you're not gonna drag me on these miles. But we actually talked, ran. We pushed each other a little bit. We walked where we needed to.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a good race.
Okay.
It was a good race, and afterwards, of course, I stayed and cheered because that's my thing.
Yeah.
So stayed and cheered and was able to see people at the end, and they, of course, changed the 10-mile race since I ran it.
Yeah.
And so it looked like a lot of people really enjoyed it. So
okay.
It was good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now we got another race coming up this weekend. It's not the one. Neither one of us are running it because.
No.
Do you ever try to get into NYC? Have you ever applied?
I've never applied.
Okay. I've applied 3 times and have not got in it. Well, actually, I think I've applied 4 times and have not gotten in it.
That is actually one of my next. My eyes are on NYC for 2020.
Gotcha.
I'll just say it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
For 2020?
For 2020.
Well, I mean, I'm going to try to get in.
If I don't get in, I don't get in.
Well, I mean,
Are you going to do like fundraising or something? Because I know that's what a lot of people do.
I just give them the money. I'm not fundraising.
You going to give them the $24.50 or whatever it is?
No. I mean, if I get in, I'm just going to pay them whatever it costs to get in. No, I'm not.
You're not going to do charity.
if I was to do charity, I would probably just if for any race I was gonna do charity, I would probably just give them the money. Like, okay, I've decided I really want.
You would give them the charity amount.
Yeah, I just give them the charity amount.
It's like $2,000.
Okay. I mean, if you do like, if I apply to get in Berlin, that's gonna be two grand if I get in.
Yeah.
To go and.
I mean, it could be, or you can do marathon tours. So for people that don't.
Marathon tours
is a couple thousand.
Yeah, exactly. So it is what it is. But I applied for the regular because it's only, well, I don't know, 130 euro I think, which works out to be about what, $200? I don't know.
I got you.
Anyway, but this coming weekend, the NYC Marathon. It's not the granddaddy of them all, but it is one of the more famous marathons. It's one that I think most people, besides Boston, if you live in the U.S.
I think it's like number 2.
Yeah.
It's like, to me at least, it's Boston and then New York.
But, I mean, I think it's probably a little bit more popular because it's easier to get into.
Of course.
You don't have a time. You mean you can get in by time?
Yes.
But there's other ways to get in that's a little easier than, Boston pretty much. It's time. You get, if you really want to get in.
Right. You can do charity for Boston, though.
Yeah, you can do charity, too. But I think the whole gravitation to Boston is because
the qualifying.
Yes, I think it's a badge of honor. I qualified to run the Boston Marathon. Exactly. But anyway, I think New York is a little bit more popular because it's easier to get into. Mm-hmm. It's more attainable for most people.
Right.
And I think that's why people gravitate to. And I mean, it's in New York City.
Yes, and you go through the 5 boroughs and the crowd support. I have cheered on New York City Marathon twice.
Oh, okay.
The crowd support for that marathon is insane. Really? Like, you want to think, I know you ran Chicago, so Chicago's is great.
Yeah.
But New York's is on a whole nother level. Like, you can almost not hear in certain parts of the race from, like, screaming.
Really?
Like, the lines on the sides of the street are packed. You can't get on the gate. Like, it's ridiculous. And it's ridiculous in a point of really, really good.
Yeah.
Like, it's great. You put your name. A lot of people know if you put your name on your shirt, people are going to be screaming out your name.
Yeah, of course.
And so it's just a different thing. And then, of course, I also like and appreciate, and this is one of the only marathons that do this, is the race is not shut down until the last runner is finished.
Yeah.
And I know that the last race director kind of set up this precedence for this to happen for New York City Marathon.
Uh-huh.
And I hope that it continues to happen now that they have a new race director. But I think that gives a different precedence to the power of running New York City Marathon for people that may be a little bit more of a back of the pack runner. Like, I just think it gives a different energy to the entire thing. So, New York City Marathon is me. It's a goal of mine.
I must admit, whenever I watch it and they start playing that New York, I'm like, dang, I want to run that.
Like, it's almost like the race that you're like, you're like so pumped up.
I mean,
for.
Yeah, exactly. I think every time I'm like, okay, I got it. Because I think at some points I was so upset because they weren't.
It makes you salty when you get denied.
Yeah, I kept getting denied, so I was like, you know what? I don't care. I don't want to run it. But then I see it on TV. I'm like, yeah, I guess I do want to run it.
Right. So for those that may not know, for New York City Marathon, you can either enter through the lottery, which most people go 3 to 5 times with getting denied before getting into it.
I know some people got in the first time.
Yeah, there's some people that get in first time, but the majority of people, it takes you a while to get in, unless you are a New York City resident.
Yeah.
And then they have the 9, I think it's 9+1 option. So if you're a New York City resident, or you can just continue to travel to New York City. If you do 9 of their series races, then you can get a qualification getting into the New York City Marathon, which is what a lot of New Yorkers end up doing. And then, of course, no New York is that full.
Exactly.
So there's that, and then you also have a qualifying time. So and then charity. So
I've heard
a lot
from
of
a couple of people that
kids
live in New
charity.
York. They talk about, I got it.
Oh, I get. Yeah, I got it.
I got it in.
Yeah.
Like I've talked to a few people.
I might hit up a couple of my ends next.
Yeah,
honestly, I might hit up. Matter of fact, I will hit up one of my ends for what they say they have it in. Let me see if they can pull some strings for 2020.
So, I mean, but so it's coming up this weekend. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of runners out there that have trained and are getting ready for it.
Right.
For NYC, as far as the elites, kind of shallow. Not a big elite pool. We're 17 weeks away from the Olympic trials.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that has something to do with it, but actually from what they said, it's usually sooner. Like it's usually like 14 weeks. But anyway, Mary Keitany, who was last year's women's winner, and Lisa Dedise, he is actually the last year's men winner. They're both returning. As far as American men, Jared Ward will be running.
Yes,
American
I
women.
like Jared.
Yeah, American women. Now it's interesting because he ran Berlin or what did he run? He ran something recently where they didn't think he was going to run New York, but he decided he would. I think it might have been Boston that he ran. But anyway, and then Des Linden for the women's side is also running. But I mean, as far as like you're not seeing anybody that's going to come close to a world record, I guess. I should say.
Right.
You never know. Mary Keitany, who knows? You know, she might bust one out. But yeah, he's but that other than that, I don't see anybody with world record aspirations.
And that's correct. He ran Boston half, just to make sure we're saying that right.
Who?
Jared,
he ran the half. Okay,
half, yeah.
I got you. But anyway, so that is the Elise. Not a lot. I'm still gonna get up and watch it.
Of course, you gotta get up and watch
it.
It's always good to see the full marathon, just kind of the looks of everything and what everybody shows up and puts down. And I think it's even more exciting for us because we're getting close to the Olympic trials. And so you want to see who's pushing good times, who's might have some, and we're not praying for injuries, but you want to see kind of what shape the majority of these athletes are in because we will be seeing them here in Atlanta in February.
Yes.
So definitely look out for that. And speaking of February, ATC just launched their volunteer app. Just launched the volunteer notice. So if you are interested in volunteering for the Marathon Olympic Trials, that will be here in February, check out the Atlanta Track Club page. They now have slots open. There's not very many. I think they're going pretty fast. But if you are interested, I think even if you are from out of town and are interested in looking or wanted to participate, please do that. That just opened today, which is the 29th. So check that out.
Okay. Cool.
Yes.
You think about volunteering?
No.
You want to enjoy it.
So I feel like, I want to volunteer. I actually do.
Yeah.
But first of all, I'm going to be running the 5K on Sunday.
Uh-huh.
Just because I feel like it's just, you got to run with the energy that's going to be in the city that weekend.
Okay.
But the other piece of it is that I want to be able to run where I want to run. So if I want to go catch it on one street and then run over on the next street, or like set up if we decide to do something, like I don't want to be restricted because I'm volunteering.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I want to volunteer because they're going to get some dope gear.
Well, I'm hoping, I don't want to just do a run duo 10. I'm hoping that we can kind of partner with some other people.
Let's do that.
Hello.
Yes.
Some other people here in Atlanta. And, I got a tent. You got a tent. Let's put these tents up, know. Because it goes down Peachtree, right? But it only goes down once. It's not part of the loop.
It doesn't do like a full partner down Peachtree, not like the Peachtree Road Race.
Yeah.
So but it does. But
it goes down there once.
I think that if we were to have a really big crowd of team takedown people that are coming in town, things like that, if people want to collaborate, let's do it. Let's do one big cheer station. That'll be good.
Exactly. That would be fun, and we'll bring some beer.
Of course.
It's gonna be early. I don't think anything's gonna be open. But anyway, so but that's new NYC. So if you're running NYC this weekend, good luck.
Good luck.
Get your rest.
Yes.
But enjoy yourself.
Enjoy the city, but
Exactly.
definitely get your rest because those bridges are very fun. Very fun.
I saw somebody posted people who train for New York all flat, and then they go to New York and there's all those bridges that they gotta run.
And I think that's the biggest thing is the bridges is the hardest part.
Yeah.
And then they say that the wind that you hit from getting on and off the bridge is very intense. So, but they say it's a great experience. So I think if anything with New York City's crowd will take you. On the bridges ain't no crowd.
Yeah.
It's just
it's just you. Just you and the rest of the thousands and thousands of runners.
Thousands and thousands of people. So good luck to everyone that's running the New York City Marathon.
Now, you were saying this past weekend was
MCM. Was the Marine Corps Marathon. And you've run Marine Corps, is that correct?
No, I signed up for it.
Heather's run Marine Corps.
Yeah, Heather ran it.
Okay,
I didn't get to run it.
So Marine Corps is really, so this is what I think of when I think of Marine Corps. So I ask people how Marine Corps is, and they say that they love it. Of course, Marine Corps is from Virginia, and it's in D.C., but it starts like in Virginia and it goes into D.C. So what I have heard so much about about Marine Corps is that you have to kind of tighten up around the end if you're kind of an emotional person, because they have a lot of people that have, fallen in the military and things of that nature. And they kind of have their pictures and their dates of passing and stuff kind of going through. But it's a great experience for those that are in the military or have family or in the military, and it's a great race. Mm-hmm. So it could be one. I told myself I'm not running anymore. I'm not running any what's the word? Non-star, so any marathons out of the 6 stars, but it seems like that's a pretty good.
That would be one. That would be one. LA would be one that I would probably do. That's a non-star.
Yes, I would say those.
And to get into Boston, I would probably have to run one that's not a non-star. I probably have to go out and run like that one up in Portland or Washington State or whatever.
Yeah, like a downhill.
Yeah, something like that.
So that would be something to look into. But something exciting that took place. So congratulations to everybody that ran the Marine Corps Marathon this weekend. And something that was different about the Marine Corps race this weekend was that they actually did their 50K Ultra. So this was their inaugural year of their 50K Ultra. And of course, guess who won it? We interviewed him, Michael Wardian. He's a former guest. He was on episode 24. So if you have not listened to his podcast, he is amazing. He is a ultra runner, marathoner to the extreme, just an all-around great guy. But we interviewed him on episode 24, but he actually did and won the 50K Ultra with a 3:11:52.
Look at that man.
3:11:52.
And so I did see a lot of pictures of people, not a lot, but I saw a few people that actually did the Ultra. Which, honestly, even if you're not running MCM, that is a great city to go watch a race.
It is.
I had a blast.
DC is awesome.
Yeah, I had a blast when I was following Heather around when she ran it, and I mean I love DC anyway. So
right, yeah, DC is a great city, and of course, it's a fun place to be around. And when I ran the Cherry Blossom 10 miler, which is another race that should be on people's radar, it's a really good race. The DC 10 miler, the Cherry Blossom 10 miler, I enjoyed DC. Like I enjoyed it. So that's another one that is on radars.
Yeah, and you need to put the Cherry Blossom on alert so that you can remind me, because every year I forget, and then everybody's like, "Oh, I put my name."
Yeah, it's one of those that you have. It's a lottery, but it's one of those that you have to get in. It's almost like the Brooklyn Popular half that you have to sit in there. Like it's not one of those that you can wait on.
Yeah,
it's not one of those you have to literally be finger on the computer.
Exactly.
Hitting the refresh button.
Exactly. But congratulations to everybody who ran the NCM. Congratulations to Mike Wardian for winning the 50K.
Yes, and so amazing job. So something else definitely great, and I guess for some people sad, happened within the last 2 weeks. So amazing runner Shalane Flanagan announced her retirement. So she's been running as a pro 2014 through 2019, and she finally announced retirement, and she's actually going to be coaching. So she said that she has not lost the love for running. Yeah. Of course, she recently came off of surgery, but she is going to be coaching now. So that's going to be very interesting, and she is going to be coaching with Nike Bowerman Track Club. So that should be very interesting.
Which I kind of figured that's, who she would coach for.
Yeah.
But after she won, what year did she run New York? 2 years ago? Mm-hmm. So after she won New York, I just started thinking that, maybe she would retire. Because, you kind of go out on top.
You trying to cap out?
Yeah. I didn't think she was going to go to the Olympics. I didn't feel like she felt like that was something else she needed to do.
Okay.
So
you feel like once she won New York, it was...
Well, I kind of felt like, at that point, she was kind of like, okay. Because even before she won New York, people were talking about, is she going to retire? Is she going to try to make it to, the next Olympics? And I kind of always felt like, I didn't feel like after winning New York, I felt like she got nothing else to prove.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
I think I can agree with you on that. Yeah. I think sometimes when you win certain things, and that was 2017 when she won New York. When you win certain things, I think you just kind of like, you know what? That was a highlight. Let me leave my career on the upside.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I think that is great. And something else that she's not only going into coaching, but she's continuing her Run Fast, Eat Slow book. So right now she has a cookbook that's out. And she's actually launching here in December the 17th. She's actually launching a 52-week meal plan. So that means that this book consists of plans that you can have for the whole 52 weeks of running.
Have you seen the book?
I've seen her Run Fast, Eat Slow, just her regular book.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So, but it is catered to runners, fueling, how to fuel, and like meal plans for that. So because it is on pre-order right now, but it will be shipped and dropped on December 17th. So I think it's a good holiday gift if you're looking for, to get, if you have a runner friend or something. Me and my family have been talking about gifts and pajamas. We're getting on my nerves about Christmas pajamas. Sorry, Mom and Dad, if you listen to this episode.
Why are you getting on your nerves about Christmas?
Because we keep going back and forth because we go as a family and we all match pajamas and we just can't figure out which one to get.
Okay, Dad, just take control of the situation and get some pajamas.
No, because he's the way he's like, I don't want that color. I don't want the jogger style.
That's what I'm saying. He needs to just be like, look, this is what we wearing. I am head of the household. This is what we wearing. That's what, Dad, that's what you need to do.
Back to Shalane. So I might put that on my Christmas list. And for those runners, I think it would be a good book to have. And it's just because it's made by a female doesn't mean it's like Neil.
Well, no, my main thing is because I've looked at a lot of.
And it's $24.
That's okay. So I feel good about that because it's not too expensive.
No, it's not.
What's Tom Brady's book was like $100 and something dollars, so ridiculous. And you probably had to be a millionaire to afford all the foods that you had to have. So that's the main thing when I look at books that have nutrition, have meal plans. Okay, is this a meal plan that an average person can, number one, prepare, and number two, afford?
Right.
You know what I mean?
So nutrition, like even having a nutritionist is pricey.
It's very pricey. It is not cheap to eat healthy at all. So anyway,
it can be, but you're gonna be eating just like rice and sweet potatoes.
And,
you're not gonna be out here like getting.
But I mean, like, so say you don't want to eat a lot of carbohydrates, which I'm not a big fan of the non-carb route.
Especially not as runners.
Yeah, but some people do. If you're that type of person that tries to eat with low carbs, that's expensive because you're having to buy a lot of lean meats. You're having to buy a lot of protein. That's not cheap. Carbs are cheap. A thing of rice is $1.59.
But
it lasts you for at least a month.
I was gonna say it could last you a good little time.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm interested in to see it and kind of see if it is something that the average person can afford anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
But congratulations on a great career, Ms. Flanagan, and welcome to the coaching ranks. I'm gonna give her a call, see if you'll give me some tips.
Right. Just call her.
You coaching now?
Are you coaching now?
Are you coaching?
I'm sure everybody is trying to call her up and trying to figure out what she's doing.
I'm always interested. Okay, so just one example, Kipchoge.
Okay.
He has a coach,
and he's had him for 18 years.
But I'm always track. I can see it a little bit more because track routines are very intense. Like you got a lot of short distance, but distance like marathon running. I mean, you're running. Yeah. I mean, and so I'm always like, well, what does I guess the coach could do the nutrition side, but once you're in that elite level, like okay, so when he was doing the Nike thing, and they're like, oh well, Nike's gonna get involved, we're gonna bring him in, and I was like, what are y'all gonna tell Kipchoge? What are y'all at? He's on the treadmill and they're all like standing around. What are y'all telling him? Okay, now put the other foot in front of the other one.
No.
Okay, wait. Okay, now put that other foot. Okay, now you got it. Okay, keep doing that.
I don't think just because you become elite, you're not coachable.
In other sports, it does get to that point.
I think that there's.
You think anybody coaching LeBron? You really think anybody's coaching LeBron? No.
I think there still are adjustments that can be made. You don't think so?
I mean, I'm not saying that they hangers on, but
somebody's got to tell him something.
Okay, so like with Kipchoge, like we talked about, they did do weights this year. I'm sure that was something that his coach told him.
Like
if you want to take it to the next level, you need to do this.
So that's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah.
So in order for them to get better and continue their greatness and get better at their greatness to become the superior of all, something has yes, you're going to keep majority because you don't want to mess up want to mess up what's already working. But in order to get to the next level, that's why people get coaches and continue. And of course, that's why people also change coaches. So a lot of the elite runners don't stay with the same coach because they probably do get into a change what we're doing because it's working. And it's like, no, but I want to get better. So I need something more. Should I be doing this different? Should I be working on my gait? Should I be changing my nutrition? Should I be adding something to my workouts? Should I be doing more runs, less runs, longer distance, shorter distance, racing more? Like, I think there's so many other things, because there's some coaches that are like headstrong, race.
Yeah.
And there's some coaches that are like, nope, you're going to save it into the tank. There's some coaches like, you need to be doing 150-mile weeks. There's some coaches like, nope, you can do greatness on 80. So I think that it's kind of a trial and error thing, and it is about what's working and what is paying off.
Well, I'm just, because if Kipchoge walked in this room right now, he's like, okay, Tommy in India,
he would be training us.
Exactly. So what? Okay, that's my point.
But he's experienced though. We
yes,
are
but
amateur
that's
runners.
my point. Who coaches? I mean, he's the fastest distance runner of all time.
So you don't think coaches have coaches? Coaches have coaches.
Okay, stop rhyming.
I'm just saying. Coaches also have coaches. Just because they know a lot doesn't mean that they can't be coached.
I just think once you get to that, now don't get me wrong. I'm sure his coach is more, at some point, becomes more of a sounding board. You know what I'm saying? Than a coach.
Yeah.
Because,
and what if he's keeping his mentality together? Like, that's another thing. Like, it may not be fitness, but where's your mind at?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's readjust your goals. Like, what are your goals? Like, are your goals too far-fetched or overshot? So I think that coaching is not just the time, the fitness, how many steps, your cadence, all that. It's so much more. It's so much more added to it that I think that he could be adding to.
Okay. I mean, just a little interesting thing, because
I
thought about
going back and forth.
I thought about that the other day. Like, okay, what is he actually telling? Well, I thought about that back when he was with Nike. I was always like, what are y'all actually telling Kipchoge? I mean, what are you doing? But anyway, so once again, congratulations, Ms. Flanagan.
Yes.
On a wonderful career.
Right. Exactly. And speaking of elite, so I know that last episode we were talking about how there was some flack, and I think we briefly touched on this in regards to a lot of people saying that Kipchoge would not have broken the 2-hour marathon without the Nike
we about to talk about shoes.
Yes, we about to talk about
shoes. You're going to miss it at Almost Live, but anyway.
That means you have to go over
you
to
gotta
the
go
podcast
and listen. All right.
So we're going to talk about shoes. So, over the last 2 weeks, I have been seeing Instagram posts, and this is from coaches, from elite coaches, from elite runners that are non-Nike sponsored. Non-Nike sponsor. I want to make sure I said that. Non-Nike sponsors. A lot of them have been saying a lot of negative, and the word that I've been hearing that keeps going on and on and on is it's not fair that Kipchoge is able to run in these shoes, right?
Now, okay. For the sub 2 challenge, the 159 challenge, I don't care. That was not a certified race. I can care less. Now.
But they took it back further than that.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, there are people talking about.
They took it back to the 2016.
Yeah, they were like, they were saying like, they need to pull medals.
Right.
I've heard people say that, but I'm saying because the ones that Kipchoge wore in the challenge are different from the ones that he wore in the Olympics. But I see what you're saying. During the time of the Olympics, Nike athletes were the only ones that could get it.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, a lot of and this has been me listening to various podcasts, and because as podcast hosts, we listen to other podcasts. But just listening to other coaches of elites and elite runners that have basically said it's not fair, and that they feel like individuals that wear these Nike shoes, whether it be the Vaporflies, the 4%, or the shoes that Kipchoge has, because no one has them but Kipchoge at this time, feel like there is a approximately 1 to 2 minute advantage over the field.